TikTok has become a notorious platform specifically for Gen Z, but for really any younger demographic. When you really want to reach them, get a huge amount of views, or have a lot of content you want to push out and convert that content into anything, right? And so what I want to look at today is how do we turn a lot of content or any content, or how do we turn TikTok into actual dollars and cents, right? So TikTok to checkout, right? How do we go from views to bookings and demos all within one platform, all within TikTok? Because TikTok can look great, right? You can see a lot of views, you can see a lot of big numbers. You might see a social media person online saying, hey, you should do this or you should do that, or TikTok's a great place to be. But until that turns into dollars or turns into actually reaching your goals, it doesn't really matter, right? So, what I want to look at today is how do we go from here on this platform to actual sales, right? How do we go from a platform of views, vanity metrics, to non-vanity metrics, actual sales, actual numbers that actually matter to you? So when TikTok first became a thing, it was, oh, TikTok's just another Vine, right? You just watch funny videos or you watch people dancing or whatever. But it really has become a decision point for a lot of people. And TikTok, as a company, has done a great job of converting itself from just a generic platform into a place where business can happen, right? TikTok business has become huge. It's treated its creators better and better as time has gone on. And we've also seen TikTok Shop become a huge part of its platform. TikTok isn't just a place where people go to watch, but TikTok is a place where people go and they make decisions. So the case study I want to look at is from Nosferatu.
Come to me. Come to me.
They used TikTok in a really smart way, but not in a way that's so unique that you can't do it as well. Like movies don't do well anymore, right? But Nosferatu was able to use TikTok to do really well, both in theater and just building an audience around its film, right? So Focus Features had this problem, right? They needed to build cultural relevance and measurable box office sales. But the whole point of this campaign was to build a fandom around this movie on TikTok. So not only did it derive sales, it lifted ticket sales by 165%. Okay, so it blended the story, the community, and a frictionless conversion. Okay, so and this is why TikTok is showing this off, right? Because all of this is happening not on a million different platforms. It's a full funnel, all happening in one space. Okay, all of this is happening. They've built a community, they've built relevance, they've built conversions, they've sold tickets, all on the same platform. And this is not a clothing store. This is not your average e-commerce store, right? This is movie tickets. This is an in-person experience. So if a movie, an old school experience, can do this on TikTok, your brand can too, right? Any brand can be doing this on TikTok if you do it right and you go into it with the intentions. What TikTok has done great in its platform adaptation, in adapting its platform, in creating tools for you as a business, is creating this full set of tools to create this full set funnel, right? So what I want to take a look at are 3 things that we can take from this that you can use for your funnels right now. So what I want to look at, the first thing is your magic hub, okay? So one destination for all bingeable clips, right? So years ago, we used to talk about this on Instagram, right? It was your hub for clips and FAQs and an action button to buy things, download things. All roads are pointing right there. So TikTok calls this the magic hub, right? And you want to build that for your brand, a place where everything goes to. The advantage of TikTok is you can put out as much content as you want, and it doesn't hurt your algorithm at all. So put out 100 million bingeable clips, 100 million quotes, and see what comes back, and it all points back to one link, to one funnel, to sell one thing. And you're going to start to see that conversion the way you want it to. But you've got to build that hub first, right? So you got to start by building a hub, a place for people to go. And that's what TikTok and Focus Features did here for Nosferatu. The second is programs specifically for subcultures and for languages. So one thing that they did here is they knew that Spanish speaking was going to be a huge focus here. So maybe that isn't for you, right? Maybe English is the only language you're targeting, but think about who are all your target audiences and program for that. Have different TikTok accounts, have different focuses. You look at Mr. Beast on YouTube. He's got 40 million different accounts, different niches. You do the same thing on TikTok. The most similar social network to TikTok is not Instagram, it's not Facebook, it's YouTube. So if you're trying to carry over any of your strategy, that's where you should be. Program for your subcultures, for languages. Be thinking about, who are my audience? What are the niches that I need to be attracting? And how do I point them all in the right direction? How do I talk directly to them, right? And the last thing is what I've been saying this whole time, which is close the loop in app, okay? Use shoppable videos for products, instant forms, auto booking services. It's possible to do a lot of things right in TikTok. If you are an e-commerce brand, you can sell right on TikTok Shop. If you are not an e-commerce store, it is still possible to collect leads right on TikTok. We've talked about before on Instagram, you can sell things in DMs. You can do the same thing with instant messages on TikTok. There are a lot of things you can do. I mean, we could sit here and talk for hours and hours about ways we can utilize TikTok. And if you want to see more about TikTok, I'd love to hear that. I'm saying the word in the app a million times because I want you to get that it can all be done in the app. TikTok has set it up that way. They don't want you to leave the app. They want you to spend all your time in TikTok. And so do I. So close the loop in the app. Okay, in a minute, we're going to be right back with some of your specific questions about TikTok. All right, welcome back. We are going to answer some of the questions you sent in about TikTok and sales funnels within TikTok. Let's get started. How long should TikToks be? It depends on your industry. We're going to talk a lot about short form content in general. It's a much heavier question. In general, we say it could be 7 to 14, could be 20 to 40, or in some instances, it could be the longer the better. But most of the time, we're talking 20 seconds or less. Do I need to be the face of the brand? Depends on your brand. This is a very specific question. Um, it can be helpful. Um, no, you do not. It's not mandatory. Um, use your team voices. Having a story, a face is hugely important, especially with Gen Z. Connecting with them and having some kind of a story connected with it is super important. Does it have to be your voice? No, but it can be helpful, especially when you're starting. Um, how often should I post? Again, it's so industry specific. Consistency is more important than the amount. Always be consistent. If you're going to post once a week, that is better than posting 10 times one week and then not again till next month. So I would say 3 times, 5 times a week. But that's not necessarily true if you can't actually do that consistently. What if a video flops? There are a lot of different reasons videos don't work. Could be the hook, could be the message, could be the delivery. I would say try a bunch of different versions. Do trial TikToks if you have that option. If not, just put out a new video. I mean, uh, by the time you've realized it flopped, you should already be on to the next one. The reality is, you cannot let that bother you because you have, like, it doesn't matter. You should be putting out so much content that the last one you put out doesn't even matter to you. How do I measure traction? Saves, shares, profile taps. It all depends on what your goal is. I would say make sure you're setting goals. Again, measurable growth is actual growth. If you're not able to measure it, it's not actual growth. So if you're trying to increase sales by using TikTok or whatever the bottom part of your funnel is, right? Because if the bottom part of your funnel isn't working, then the top part of your funnel is worthless. Don't waste your time. Like, something isn't working along the way. So it doesn't matter if you get 1 million views if you're not making any money at the bottom. Unless your goal is to become an influencer and sell sponsorships, then that's a different story. Last question: what should our first 3 videos be? Sure, I would say, what are the first 3 things that pop into your head, and just do them. Don't let what to do bog you down. I would say do an FAQ, do a quick proof, do testimonial, what to expect, do showing off your product, do behind the scenes, do day in the life. It could be literally anything. It doesn't matter. You should be putting out content. We have a custom AI content machines we build for people because they get so bogged down in content creation that it holds them back when that should not be what's holding them back, right? We just put it out. Go into ChatGPT and have it give you ideas and just do that if you can't think of something. Or DM us and we'll give you a bunch of ideas. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Feel free to send us emails for next week's topic, which is all about short form content. We're so excited for that. And until next time, this has been New Gen Marketing.